Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Trade reports suggest former lottery pick may have played last game for Warriors. While Brandon Podziemski may have drawn most of the headlines when it comes to the Golden State Warriors' recently failed trade pursuit of Lauri Markkanen, it's another young player whose future at the franchise looks murkier than ever. As was the case when first reported weeks ago, The Athletic reiterated on Tuesday that the Warriors' offer for Markkanen centered on Moses Moody and a haul of future draft assets. So, with the Jazz and Markkanen expected to recommit to each other, and with Golden State clearly showing faith in Podziemski's present and future, where does it leave Moody as the third, more under-discussed part of this scenario? Moody has often been praised for his maturity and being wise beyond his years, often taking career setbacks in stride and remaining ready whenever called upon by Steve Kerr. But the combination of inconsistent role and ongoing trade speculation amid extension eligibility has to finally take its toll at some point. How could it not? These reports, assuming they're accurate, are suggesting that your employer doesn't see you as a necessary part of their future. You can argue that's just part and parcel of being an NBA player, but it has to have some impact when the franchise evidently values you far differently to your young teammates. It's also unfair and unusual for a player to ride the roller coaster of an inconsistent role and trade rumors for this long. At some point the ride should stop, you get off and then get the opportunity to restart with a team more willing to provide a clearer path towards individual success. Golden State almost owe Moody that at this stage. They still value him to a degree that they won't throw him away for nothing, but they've also waited far too long, where the lack of playing time has now led to limited trade value. The Athletic's report stated that the Warriors are expected to explore smaller-scale deals more actively than is typical in August and September. With Moody, Gary Payton II, and Kevin Looney, Golden State have three players whose combined salary could get them a player making just over $20 million. Perhaps Moody still holds enough value for the Warriors to get a player of some value later this offseason, potentially opening the window for a win-win-win scenario where the two teams reach their aspirations in the trade, while the 22-year-old gets the opportunity to spread his wings as he deserves. Stephen Curry and Draymond Green are excited to play with new-look Warriors in the 2024-25 season. The Golden State Warriors are heading into their first season in 13 years without Klay Thompson on the roster after the all-time shooter left the Warriors to join the Dallas Mavericks this summer. The Warriors have added multiple players to replace Klay and the outgoing Chris Paul, which has led to Stephen Curry and Draymond Green feeling optimistic about the upcoming season, according to Kendra Andrews of ESPN. Both stars say they are excited about the moves Golden State has made so far this summer, sources said. Sources added Curry and Green are exhibiting trust that what has happened this offseason can help the team as long as the team remains competitive. Andrews also revealed that Curry and Green aren't trying to throw their weight around the front office, with Curry in particular not wanting to feel alienated from his teammates by making such decisions. Sources told ESPN that neither Curry nor Green want to be final decision-makers in regard to roster moves or transactions. But they do want to be consulted. Steph has said, "Look, I do not want to be making those decisions. It puts me in a different spot than all of my teammates. I do not want that," a source told ESPN. To replace Klay and CP3, the Warriors went and acquired Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton, and Buddy Hield. Anderson was a solid rotational forward for the Timberwolves last season, while Melton is regarded as an efficient guard who can shine on the defensive end. Hield is one of the best shooters of the modern era in the NBA, converting 1,924 three-pointers since being drafted in 2016, the second most behind Curry in that span. Hield has led the league in three-point make since 2019-20, so he might be the closest replacement to what Klay provided to the Warriors lineup. The Warriors were heavily linked with a trade for Lauri Markkanen, but the Finnish forward will stay on the Jazz after signing a 5-year contract worth $238 million. Golden State refused to pay a high price to the Jazz, which would have led to the loss of sophomore guard Brandon Podziemski along with multiple first-round picks. Now that the Markkanen saga is over and is the second major target, Paul George, the Warriors couldn't land, it seems the franchise is content with what they have right now. They have a robust playing rotation with their new additions alongside Curry, Green, Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, and more. The team will be competitive, but are they good enough to improve on their play-in exit last season? Curry averaged 26.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.1 assists last season, but he might need to return to 2021-22 levels of production to keep the Warriors competitive. Curry averaged over 30 points that season, but the Warriors did miss the playoff that year as well, so it's not an easy solution. The team is unlikely to pursue stars like Brandon Ingram or Zach LaVine, so it seems we know the Warriors roster heading into next season, with potential future trades dependent on how the team performs from October to February. Lakers reportedly interested in trading for star big man. One of the main players that the Los Angeles Lakers were connected with all offseason was center Jonas Valanciunas. He ended up signing with the Washington Wizards, leaving the Lakers to look elsewhere to upgrade the frontcourt depth. Los Angeles entered the offseason looking to bring in more help at the center position to play alongside star Anthony Davis. However, the team hasn't added any player to the frontcourt and they are still in search mode. But it seems that the Lakers may get a second chance at landing Valanciunas once he becomes eligible to be traded by Washington. According to Sean Devaney of Heavy.com, there is an expectation that the Wizards will move Valanciunas before the trade deadline next season. And the Wizards wisely scooped him up on a 3-year, $30 million contract to open free agency. The expectation is that Washington will begin looking for a deal for Valanciunas in December, when he becomes eligible to be traded. Expect competition, though. The Lakers were mentioned as a team that could be interested in landing Valanciunas if the Wizards do make him available. He could help the team solidify the center spot and push Davis to his natural power forward role. The New York Knicks and Golden State Warriors were also mentioned as potential teams interested in the center. So, the Lakers could have some competition for the services of Valanciunas. The Knicks, we'll see how their center spot develops, one NBA exec told Heavy Sports last month, adding the Lakers as a contender for his services. The Warriors, if the Lauri Markkanen thing does not work out. Valanciunas spent last season with the New Orleans Pelicans, averaging 12.2 points and 8.8 rebounds per game. He shot his lowest career percentage from beyond the three-point line since the 2018-19 season at 30.8%. However, Valanciunas has been a solid floor spacer for teams in the past. If he were to be traded to the Lakers, it could help the Los Angeles offense to have someone who is at least somewhat of a threat from deep on the floor with Davis. The Lakers could see where they are as a team in December when Valanciunas becomes trade eligible and the front office can make a decision. Los Angeles could have point guard D'Angelo Russell's expiring contract to trade, which could intrigue the Wizards. There are a lot of moving parts, but Los Angeles could end up landing Valanciunas after all if things turn out well. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Jonas Valanciunas? Leave your opinion in the comments.